Yeah, welcome to the Kryptik show. It's your bro. I'm a little pissed off right now. There's some shit going on over here, so I thought whoever's watching this, I hope there's some international people as well, because y'all need to know this. Here in Indonesia, not strictly the government, I don't know, it's some sort of commission. They're trying to set up some rules for musicians. They try to, I don't know, get some. It's not even guidelines. It's worse than that. It's like they're trying to sign it into law and try to restrict the freedom of musicians. Yeah. So they're trying to regulate what you can and cannot do, what your status should be, and this goes for musicians across the board. So it's really fucking sad. And well, it hasn't been signed into law yet, and there's a lot of protests, which is good. So I'm just adding to that because fuck that, right? If it does get signed into law, then a lot of us here are in trouble, and I'll probably leave or whatever, you know, because it's fucking retarded. So just to highlight a few points of this plan that are completely full of shit. So number one, well, not really number one, but one point is that they want to license musicians, meaning that if you're an unlicensed musician, you cannot legally make music, which is fucking retarded. Who does that? No country in the world, as far as I know, does that. So I don't know where they get this dumbass idea, and I know it's a really fucked up thing to even think about. Come on, man, this is art. We need to be free to do what we want. Alright, and if this goes through, then that's off the fucking table. Which brings me to the worst part, which is point number 5, I believe, on the plan, which talks about actual content, shit that you can and cannot say in a song. Now, I know my rappers are gonna be pissed about this, right? I mean, everybody should be. You can't be like a punk rock band or a metal band, whatever kind of band, and you can't say what you want. You know, what are we gonna be left with? We can't talk about politics or religion or, you know, say anything against the government or anything like that. So no criticism allowed, right? That's some heavy censorship, and I cannot stand for that shit, for sure. I mean, that is just really disgusting. Not just disgusting, but stupid. How do you fucking try to regulate that? It's not gonna work. That's another thing. It's so goddamn dumb. It's never gonna work. So it's really pathetic, and we need to, one way or another, petitions, protests, whatever we can do. Maybe the thing will just die on the table. Hopefully someone will see that this shit's not going to work and they're going to scrap it. But just the fact that they're thinking about it is fucking worrying, because if this shit doesn't work, someone might come up with something similar that does go through. So this is really troubling, and we need to keep our eyes on this. Now, what I think is probably, well, that's the worst part, the censorship part, the idea that an artist can't say what the fuck we want. But again, the licensing, to get back to the licensing, that is just a murder on any independent artist. So, as well as, of course, the freedom of speech issue at the beginning there. So there's a couple of points here that are, I don't know if it's purposeful, it kind of looks like, but it's definitely directly or indirectly aimed at sabotaging independent artists. So if you're an independent artist, especially one who likes to speak his or her mind, then this idea is not for you, okay? So for people outside Indonesia, I hope some of you get to see this, and at least, you know, maybe pay a little attention to it, maybe help us out here to protest from the outside, or at the very least keep an eye on your own government for if they want to implement something similar, because if it happens here, you know, it could happen anywhere, and you know, it's fucking worrying. Alright, so keep your eye on that shit. Whenever art gets censored like this, it's disturbing. Okay, so we I don't know, we need to step up and make our voices heard, do something, say something, spread the word, and make sure that at the very least we think about this stuff, and hopefully we can figure out some way to take action to actually help stop this nonsense. Alright, because it's damaging and it's retarded, and we don't need it. Okay, and that's another thing, like, we don't need it. Who came up with the idea that we need it? If we need regulation, it's probably regulation of the industry. That would make some sense, right? Help the independent artists, regulate the kind of destructive and almost, it's close to slavery in a sense. The whole music industry, the way artists get treated, the percentages they get paid, and the general fucked up situation you end up with if you're signed to a major label. That's a whole other chapter to get into, but that would make some sense. If you want to regulate something, regulate that. The choices that artists have are bad enough. So either you get to a label and you may be promoted and your name gets out there, and that's all good, but you are limited in what you are allowed to say and put out. Yeah, but that's business, so that's up to the label. It's in their hands. What can you do? Fair is fair, right? So you can choose to go the independent route and say, well, I don't want any of that. I'm doing it on my own. So I'm doing all the work, and win or lose, it's all on me. But at least you have your freedom if you do that. Up to now, yeah. So now you got this stupid ass list of rules that's going to sabotage all that, yeah. Especially as an independent artist, we cannot fucking accept this. All right. So whoever sees this, whoever knows, if you're in this area, if you're in Indonesia, you're an artist, or you got something to do with it. Even if you're just a fan, if you just enjoy even one song from one independent artist, you should be pissed about this. All right. So whether you're a musician, independent or otherwise, fan. Even in the industry, if you're in the music industry, you don't need this shit. So anyone who has anything to do with music in Indonesia, you should be stepping up to this and get pissed, man. Get angry. Alright? Internationally, just keep your eyes on this. Alright? It's a document, so if something crazy happens, alright? And pay attention to your own governments as well, because if it can happen here, it can happen there. So beware, let's say, yeah? Alright, that's it for this one. Kryptik out. Peace.